Are you good at wine? Well, of course you are not. Unfortunately, at least you wouldn't end up your life like this. That's the image about the Cask of Amontillado by Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe is widely regarded as one of the central figures of Romanticism and Gothic fiction in the United States and of early American literature. He was a writer, poet, editor, and literary critic who is credited with his poetry and short stories. The Cask of Amontillado was first published in the November 1846 issue of Godey's Lady's Book. One message I got from the story is that the pride of oneself sometimes leads to their downfall. For Montresor, the ancestral pride twisted him, making him a devil in human form. Inside him, that pride had become rage, blinding him from any other positive thoughts of friendship. He let it control him, driving him insane by the thought of killing anyone that insulted him. Not at all, he even took advantage of Fortunato's weakness to accomplish his target. He used something that had come from trust, from friendship, and for me, it's actually an act of betrayal. What is more, Poe used symbolism. The catacombs represent death, decay, and the darkness of Montresor's mind, underscoring his cruelty, which appeared not only in his thought, but also in the place where he chose to kill Fortunato, in the place where he lived. He also had said things that mean the opposite of what he truly intended. And I, to your long life. Ironically, he was going to end his life later. Thus, I could tell that Montresor is malicious, and as I have just mentioned, a devil. His downfall is him falling deeper and deeper into his darkness within the soul. For Fortunato, he proudly believed that he was a trained judge of fine wine. He had a pride in his broad knowledge about fine wines. Consequently, his cask, which is a container of wine, later on was one of the causes of his death. In this case, the cask means the excessive confidence that blinded him to Montresor's true intentions. So even when he doubted a little, he still fell into his trap. At the end, his downfall happened wickedly. He had to pay his long life for a price in such an insane, terrible way. A wrong is not made right in that manner, and also the wrong would not be made right unless Fortunato knew that he was paying and he knew who was forcing him to pay, thought Montresor. This speech raises a question: is the main character right or wrong? My thesis statement of this is that he is morally and exceptionally wrong despite his reason. Firstly, when it comes to ethics, we might instantly come up with an objection to any acts of killing others. Everyone living in this world has the right to live, and depriving others from that right for any reason is considered wrong. Moreover, he tortured Fortunato, not just murdered, but tortured, in an extremely cruel way, which is trapping him alive. He must die of exhaustion, of desperation, of starvation, of dehydration. However, even one of those is already terrible. a slow, miserable death. Secondly, what if Fortunato hadn't mean to? Montresor learned, which means maybe he heard from others the fact that Fortunato had laughed at his honored name, and that someone could have told misinformation. However, did Montresor come to verify that? He didn't. Instead, he quietly planned to make Fortunato pay for it. In addition, Fortunato may have always considered him a friend. Therefore, he might not even want to accept the truth that he was wrong, as he thought they were all jokes. Montresor had assumed that he knew he was paying, but did he? In my personal opinion, it is extremely wicked to kill any innocent person, especially when he had no idea why his close friend decided to end his life. Finally, at the end, Montresor mentioned that his heart felt sick because of the cold. This light of his, for me, reveals his evil and cold-blooded nature, because he killed his friend without any sense of guilt or sin. In conclusion, I would say that his acts are ethically wrong, and again he is evil. My final theory is that Fortunato chose to follow Montresor even though he felt uncertain, because he was driven by his desire for recognition. He wanted to prove how professional he was. Fortunato's ego as a wine expert is clear throughout the story. When Montresor told him about the pipe of Amontillado he had just purchased, Fortunato immediately insisted that they go to verify it. He said, luxurious, he doesn't know one wine from another. This lie reveals that Fortunato feels threatened by the mention of luxurious, another wine judge, and therefore he chose to follow Montresor. His desire to prove that he, and not luxurious, is the true expert blind him to the dangers of Montresor's trap. Even when Montresor warned him, of course, deception, about the dampness of the vault and his continuous cough, Fortunato responded, "It is nothing. Let us go on. But first, another drink of your medoc." This pride shows that Fortunato valued maintaining his image as a strong and capable man more than his own safety. Overall, the Cask of Amontillado is a great short story that prompts readers to ask a lot of questions, not only because it brings to us a new point of view, which is the first one narrated by the perpetrator, but also because its themes, pride, revenge, and deceptions, make us think a lot about the dark and twisted nature of humans. Reading this short fiction, you will see the darkest part of one's inner world. I recommended you search and watch the short movie that is created according to this short story. Maybe it will be more interesting than just reading. Finally, this is my citation. Thank you for listening.